And here we go, reconnaissance. What's going on, folks? Welcome to the channel. If you are returning, welcome back. And if you're new here, hello, my name is CAMFATH. I am a former Army Ranger and California National Guardsman. And today I will be breaking down for you guys my personal recce or recon kit. Now, this is in regards to what I'm wearing on my body, not necessarily what I am packing for a mission, because to be honest, it all comes down to what exactly is the mission. Now, before we break this down and I start talking about what's on me, I have a little message, or I have a little rant about reconnaissance in general, right? There seems to be this huge fascination with recon on social media, like guys going out and building recce guns and all that jazz. It's cool, have fun, enjoy it, but realize that the harsh truth about reconnaissance is that it is a very challenging and difficult task. Although those guns look super cool, firearms or guns aren't what reconnaissance is about. If you are using your rifle in a recon, you have pretty much failed. I do have a build that I'm going to show you guys here, but it's going to be really short and sweet. And I just want you to understand that recon itself is very challenging. It's heavy, it's exhausting, it's dirty, you're living on days on end, and you're bringing with you what you can only carry. So let's talk about what exactly recon is and why it dictates what I'm wearing, right? So recon is essentially a task, going forth and collecting information, essentially answering questions that will influence how a mission goes about, right? So essentially the bottom line is answering questions, finding out as much as you can about an objective or a person or a place before you actually go ahead and move. With that, that can be over a short amount of time, right? Or it could be over the course of days, weeks. It all depends on what questions need to be answered. And there are a lot of ways to skin this cat. Just because I'm wearing this and talking about this is very mission specific, but there are hundreds of different ways and things to wear during a recon. Like, for example, you could absolutely wear a plate carrier on a reconnaissance. It all has to do with your environment, enemies in the area, what we call MET-TC in the military. MET-TC is mission, enemy, time, terrain, troops, and civilians on the battlefield, right? It's just basically all these factors that will influence how you go about accomplishing the mission, right? So in regards to what I'm wearing, this is based upon my experience in the California National Guard as a reconnaissance team leader. I spent about 4.5 years in a recon section and mainly conducting area reconnaissance type missions, meaning there is a specific area within a zone, right? And we need to learn or answer questions about what is going on in this place. All these questions that a commander would need to know before mobilizing an infantry force to go in there and do their jobs, right? Because the more you know about something, the safer you can be. So that's it about recon. That's all I'm going to mention about the mission set. Let's dive in. Let's get to the reason why you're watching this. So let's talk about the gun really quick, because everybody's super obsessed with guns, but it really doesn't do it for me at recon, right? And I'll explain as I go through the gun. So we'll talk about my primary here. I have a 16-inch barrel Daniel Defense upper on a Noveske lower. This is my workhorse of a gun. This is what I use for work when I'm training with Defense Strategies Group. I've had this gun for a long time, and I put tens of thousands of rounds through it. It's been an amazing rifle, and right now it is in a recce configuration, and I'm probably going to work with this for some time because I actually really like the way it turned out. So let's go tip to butt like they do in the Navy. On my barrel device, I have a Surefire War Comp, right? So this is all a muzzle device and a flash hider. Great for reducing recoil, reducing flash, and it also allows you to mount suppressors, which if I had the option, it's a little difficult to get them where I live. So unfortunately, I don't have one, but if I did, it would definitely be on this build. I have a Surefire Scout Light here with the 100 Concepts flashlight cover. These are excellent because the last thing you want to do is ND or negligently discharge your flashlight, especially at night, and give your position away. I have a Steiner D-Ball IR and Viz laser for night fighting. I have a True North hand stop, or like I believe it's the grip stop. I have some Magpul 45-degree flip-up iron sights just as a backup in case anything goes wrong, or say an optic gets shot out or a malfunction, who knows. Always plan for the worst possible thing. And then I have a Dai-Frico Kung Fu grip, as well as a Radian charging handle, which are awesome. I recommend them to all my students. And then I have a Magpul CTR stock with a low retainer band for stowing the sling when I'm not using it. I have a Radian bolt release, extended or at least enlarged bolt release for those quick reloads. And that's about it for just the weapon itself. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about the optic, because that's really what I care about on this setup. Reconnaissance is collecting information, right? And if we can do so at distance, that allows us to do it safer, right, than being right up on the enemy, what we call a CTR, a close target recce, which, you know, the likelihood of you getting compromised or found by the people you're observing is extremely high. So if we can observe from distance utilizing magnified optics or spotting scopes of that nature, let's do that, right? Because now we're at distance, we are safe, and we're still collecting the information we need. So having something on your gun that has a lot of magnification, I see and believe will assist you and enhance your capabilities as a reconnaissance section. I have here a EOTech Voodoo 1-10 first focal plane LPVO, or low power variable optic, on a Badger Ordnance Condition 1.7 inch LPVO mount. And then on top I have the Condition 1 12 o'clock mount and a EOTech E-Flex mini red dot sight, or their reflex sight. And all of them have 100 concepts scope caps and hex caps, which reduce reflection and they keep the glass protected. I really enjoy this setup, especially a 12 o'clock mounted optic on a LPVO, and I actually do have an affiliation with EOTech. Big shout out to them for sending this setup out to me. If you guys want to support this channel, I do have a code with them, so if you're looking to save about 10% on your EOTech order, if you're looking to pick up anything from them, use the code CAMFATH10 and you'll save 10%. I will get a little bit of commission on that. So if you're looking to support the channel, great. If not, it's a free country. You do you, baby. That's all I really want to talk about on the gun. Biggest takeaway from the firearm is observation capability. The farther we can see, the more information we can collect, and you'll just become more of an asset. So that's the gun. In regards to what's on my body, let's start from top down and get to it. So on my head, obviously I got a super cool looking boonie. This actually boonie comes this way. It is the Carcajou Tactical, and I hope I pronounced that right. It's a Canadian owned infantry brand. They make this awesome boonie cap, and it has been slightly modified. As you can see, you're probably wondering why I don't look like an Aussie or a Brit with my boonie cap going up to where ear pro, and I'll go over that really quickly. But let's go ahead and take this off so I can talk about it. All right, now that that's all done, this is an excellent boonie cap because A, it provides you some attachment points, especially with this netting up here to put retainer bands or 550 cords so that you can attach vegetation so you can get more camo on you. And this is very important, especially if you are in a hide site or you are observing at a little close distance. You definitely want to utilize camouflage to the best of your ability. So having this already on the cap is a plus for me. It has a netting top, so I can actually see through this. I'm looking at you just fine, which is great for ventilation, especially on hot days. You want as much ventilation as possible. You have a full ring around for attaching vegetation as well, and then the netting to break up the netting and the fraying on the edge of the boonie to help break up your silhouette to hide you a little bit more. The mod that I did to this boonie actually comes to us from Tracer Tactical. Big shout out to those guys. I don't have affiliation with it, but I do have a great appreciation for brands that are bringing a lot of good quality gear to market to make it accessible to guys doing the jobs themselves, and also that are putting out good information about modifying your equipment. And this modification was put out there. It's on their Instagram, and it's how to make a comms pass-through for your boonie. Now, essentially, you just cut horizontally and across here, giving enough room to basically pass through your over-the-ear comms equipment, and then you sew on some Velcro tabs here. I went ahead and went the extra mile and grabbed one of those gear tear replacement patches that come with all issued uniforms, and just attach that adhesive over top to make it multicam and not tan. So super awesome. When you're not using it, you just Velcro it up and it looks completely normal, and now you have a little bit more ventilation. And when you're using it, you just put your ear pro on, unvelcro it, Velcro over the top, and now you have a good comms pass through, and you can maintain the integrity of the boonie on the sides. So that's great. My over-the-ear protection is these Peltor contacts. Great, I've used these for so damn long. These are actually the ones I used in the National Guard, and I have a lot of hours underneath them. The only thing I've ever done is replace the headband after I mounted this to my helmet, because you have to, the old ones you had to cut it, but the new ones I think you can now have a removable headband to throw them on your helmet. So these work excellent. They're great for comms equipment. I've never had an issue with Peltor, so they're kind of like my gold standard. And this is the single comm one, so it plugs into the PTT down below. So that's all for my head. I'm gonna throw this boonie cap on and we can keep talking, because I like the way it looks. All right, so moving down to my neck, you probably noticed this scarf looking thing. No, this is not a scarf. It is not just super fashionable. It is a veil. So in the world of recon, in the world of sniper ops, a veil is a great piece of equipment to have with you. I keep this one just slung around my neck inside. It's made of polyester, so it wicks really well. It also is netting, so it's ventilated, but pretty much on super hot days, I put it around my neck because it protects the back of my neck from getting absolutely shredded by the sun. And reapplying sunscreen over and over and over again is a task, and the less I can do and the more protected I can be, why not? So the way the veil works is essentially it's already around my neck, so if I want to use it, I just pull it out and I just drape it over the top of me. Now I have added camouflage. It can go over my shoulders, and if I want, and I put it correctly alongside, I can drape it over my spotting scope or my gun optic like such. And now I've created a mask and more camouflage for my weapon system. So having a veil is such a great piece of kit to have on your person, if not in your go bag or your ruck. That's what I have on my neck. Moving, let's talk about my wrist really quick. So I have a Garmin Phoenix watch on my wrist. I primarily use this for pulling grids, right? Knowing where you are in a reconnaissance is super important. Knowing where you are in the military is super important. I mean, it's literally rule number 2, right? So I use this to pull 10-digit grids, and it is what we call passive GPS, right? So it's not, when I'm pulling grids, it's not, pushing out anything. It's only receiving information that's being sent down by satellites at all times, right? So I'm not able to be interdicted, or the signal's not going to be captured by the enemy, and then my location is going to be compromised, right? So super good tool to have if you have like one of those Garmin Fortrex, the battery operated ones that are the GPS modules. You probably see a lot of people attach them to their plate carriers or have them on their wrist. Those are great too, because this watch needs to be charged, so I can't realistically carry extra batteries. The only way that I can replenish this if it's a numerous day op and it dies is if I have a mobile chargers with me, which is a little inconvenient. I'm old school in the mindset that, if it runs off batteries, those can be changed, and I'd rather change batteries than charge something, if that makes sense. So Garmin watch. Moving down, I have this little shocks attached to my H harness, and it is a little nifty thing. It came with my Night Force optic, which you can see behind me on the wall, and it essentially is just a microfiber cloth that's just stowed inside this. Like I said, recon, you're doing a lot of sitting behind glass if you're doing an area reconnaissance, right? So doing a lot of observing. So being able to keep that glass clean, whether it's my spotting scope or my weapons glass, that to me is super important. And I hate, big pet peeve of mine, or big ick of mine, is when you are smearing your lenses with your dirty ass gloves. It's just not an effective way to do that, especially your eye pro, right? That's how it gets scratched. So using a microfiber is the preferred technique for that. So It doesn't take up any space at all. It doesn't take up any weight. So for me, it's on the kit. It's a no-brainer. I just have my PTT connection right here, which is hooked up to my PRC 152 radio, which this is the fake one. This is like the Airsoft 10 watt. I think it's like a TSA or TCA 152, but it's about the same size as military to give you guys a good reference of what this kit can take and handle. So it is in a tracer tactical radio pouch mounted to the inside of this rig. And with that, let's talk about the rig. So this chest rig is a combination of a few brands, but the majority of it is a brand called Tracer Tactical. I mentioned them for the Boonie Cap mod. Excellent brand, and they make one hell of a chest rig. So this is the Tracer Tactical Scout split front chest rig. The reason why I like a split front is, in my experience, I'm typically laying down just to minimize my signature. So nobody wants to lay down for long periods of time, especially as you can see, this kit comes out pretty far. That's because I'm carrying a lot on it. So to be able to undo the front quietly, not with Velcro, but with buckles, and then push this to the side, I can still have everything I need on my person, right? Nothing changes other than now I have nothing on my front, and I can lay down with a lot more comfort and just overall be a happier person. Like I said, Recon is absolutely miserable at times, so the little things you can do to enhance comfort are, for me, 100% worth it. 10 out of 10 at the time. So do things to make yourself more comfortable, especially if you're doing a numerous day recon. Basically, we have the split front, and the reason why I have it set up in this configuration is for load bearing and sustainment reasons, right? In reconnaissance, especially in regards to conventional military forces, the recon section I was a part of was the National Guard. We are a conventional force. Oftentimes we don't have a lot of support like our like my former soft brothers do, right? Having air assets, pre-coordinated speedballs, all that stuff. You're essentially bringing with you everything you'll need, right? And more. There are principles of reconnaissance, and one of those being don't leave reconnaissance assets in reserve, right? Meaning if you got it and it can help you in your mission, fucking bring it, right? So that's why I have a lot on this rig. That's why it looks a little bit bulky, but it's all part of the method to the madness. So having like a streamlined kit is more directed at like DA, direct action, landing on the X, clearing the building and leaving. This rig is built for numerous days out in the field with little to no support, right? So starting from the left to the right, I can carry on this rig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 in the gun for a total of 9 magazines, right? So now I have 9 magazines. That's a lot, especially for a chest rig. It's still relatively comfortable. So that's one thing I really enjoy about this rig. You can wear body armor underneath this rig. Some rigs come from adjustments from the front, which is great if you're using a rig in conjunction with a plate carrier. This one is all adjustments from the side and the back. So putting a plate carrier on or a low-vis plate carrier and then sizing this over it would probably be the best option. And it's 100% doable. The reason there is no adjustments here is because it keeps everything pushed to the front. When you have adjustment in the front of a split front, now it starts pushing things to the side, and then you're sitting here with your arms over things. I prefer adjustments in the back. It takes a little bit of a group effort or more time to adjust things down, but in the end, I'm happier with the end result. So I have 1 magazine, 2 magazines, 3 magazines on this side, plus 2 magazines in this Spiritus Systems Spud pouch. I absolutely love these pouches, and I think they integrate into the Scout split perfectly, in my opinion. They're an excellent pouch because you can put a lot in them, right? They don't just carry magazines, they can carry radios, depending on the size, they can carry water bottles, they can carry grenades, what have you. It's just a really modular pouch, and I enjoy having them on my front. I have the Scout pouch here, which is a Sustainment pouch. Inside, I keep a headlamp for map checks at night, as well as just you should have a headlamp on you. I have a laser rangefinder in here, tied down, obviously. This is a sensitive item, so you need to maintain it. But I have this laser rangefinder, so now I have an added 7x zoom on this. It's a mono. I'm able to reach out and basically laze things, find out where they are, how far are they away, and it really helps me and enhances my capability as an individual on the reconnaissance team, because when it comes to plotting things or establishing what we call in the military TRPs, or target reference points, it lets you put those on the map and make your sector sketches and all the information more accurate that you're bringing back home. So laser rangefinder, a laser rangefinder in conjunction with a map and a compass is overpowered. It is OP, and you should always have it, especially in recon, or at least have one person carrying a laser rangefinder, right? And as I said, I have a compass in this pouch as well. I just have the classic military compass. They're super simple. They are freaking rock solid, and I've never had any issues with this compass. Now, I've used more advanced compasses or newer compasses like the Sunto. Those are great as well, but I feel like there's lower, this is me just calling myself stupid, right? There's a lower barrier of entry to using this compass. It is literally just a point and shoot. They are literally bulletproof. You can read them at nighttime. There's a reason the military has been using these for a long time, because they work, and they work well. So I have that tied down inside this pouch along with that laser rangefinder and this headlamp. So just keeping sustainment equipment on my person, right? Behind my magazines, I have some admin storage. They have these, Tracer Tactical has these inserts for their scout rigs. This one required a little bit of modification, but it still works since it's they have a scout that encompasses the entire front of you, and these sit in each of the panels. A little bit of, hey, how you doing? A little bit of grunt work to get these to work in the split, but they work just fine. In here, I have map markers for plotting on maps. I would have my map in here. I don't have one on me. I apologize. Don't roast me. I have a protractor for that map and that compass, right? And then I also have a right in the rain notebook in here. You need a notebook for recon. You need to be able to write down your reportings, right? So whether you're doing a salute format or whatever you're seeing, you need to be able to have a log, right? You need to be able to create sector sketches. You need to be able to do a lot of things, or at least retain a lot of information, especially if you don't bring cameras out. You need to be able to draw them, and that's something else. There's a lot of skills besides just looking cool that come with reconnaissance, or that come within the task of reconnaissance that you should be good at, and one of them is drawing. So learn to draw, understand how to do it, and carry a notebook on your person. So, and that's all I keep on this side. On the bottom, I have a tourniquet attached to my Scout sustainment pouch for obvious reasons, right? So, moving over to the other side, I have an additional 3 magazines for my weapon system. I have an additional Spiritus spud pouch, but inside is a smoke grenade. So this is a smoke grenade body. It's not real. Just wanted to show you that it can accommodate this. And it is super important to be able to carry these, especially in reconnaissance, because you are, even though you carry a gun, if you are compromised, meaning you are found, you need to get out. You are typically in a smaller unit. You don't have as much fighting assets as a conventional infantry platoon. Like, for example, a ranger platoon or an infantry platoon would have 240s and all that stuff. Typically, recon elements, you might have one, but not a lot of ass behind you. So you're going to need to break contact. And to break contact, being able to screen and kind of hide yourself utilizing smoke grenades and frags as well is a no-fail task. So, I mean, if you're not compromised, you can still use a smoke grenade to mark your pickup location, right, and talk with the helicopter. So, be able to carry smoke. I have the same pouch, the Scout sustainment pouch on the right side. However, both of these pouches, obviously you notice there's these bungees on them. They don't come like that. This is a modification that's also put out there by Tracer Tactical in order to turn this into a canteen pouch. And that's exactly what I have here in this one. I have a 32-ounce Nalgene canteen. I really enjoy these canteens because they are see-through, right? The They are exactly the same spec as the USGI canteens, or the ones you probably see at your surplus, or the ones that are issued. But it is see-through, so I can actually see how much water I've been drinking. And I went ahead and removed the tops and replaced them with 550 just to give it a little bit of a smaller footprint. But they fit inside these pouches perfectly. And I also believe that you should 100% have water on you, right? Not just only in your ruck, not only in your like 2 liters or whatever, but have water on you, because I've literally been in a scenario where I went on a 3-day area reconnaissance training mission, and we went black on water within 24 hours. We did not have a water purification plan or water purification equipment, so it hurt. I'll tell you that. It hurt. It was miserable. It wasn't fun, but in hindsight, it was a great learning lesson, and it taught me to always carry some way to purify water and to carry as much water on me as I can. Because, like I said, this isn't a sexy task. It is very hard. It requires great physical fitness as well as resilience and mental toughness to do this job. So carry water on you, and if I had a water plan or I was able to carry more in my ruck and I didn't want to run this, and now it's a sustainment pouch and I can carry more sustainment equipment. So carry water, and both sides have these little pull tabs that retain it. I've walked miles in these with full canteens, and they don't move. They stay exactly where they are. So I really appreciate that. Moving down, I have a knife from TOOR Knives. Excellent knife. This is their darter. TOOR just makes some excellent blades, and that's why I am proud to be affiliated with them. So if you're looking to pick up a new fixed blade and you want a TOOR knife, use the code CAMFATH, and you'll get free shipping on that, and it will send a little kickback to me. So if you want to support the channel and get yourself a cool knife, use code CAMFATH. Or not. Like I said, it's a free country. So, but I keep a fixed blade on me because it's good to have a fixed blade on you just for administrative tasks, right? Any type of cutting, you need to cut 550. You need to do something to help build your hide, right? You need to open MREs. Having a knife on you is super important, right? So it's also an offensive tool, but I guarantee you're going to be doing more administrative tasks with the knife than you will offensive, especially in a reconnaissance role. Okay, anyways, but that's enough about that. Into the other administrative pouch that I have on the right side, I just have some face paint, right? This is for summer months or hotter months, right? You want to make sure you are camouflage, keep it on me. There's also a mirror in here, so I can look at myself and see how miserable I look after the 3rd day out on an area recon. I also keep a VS17 panel in here. VS17 panel, if you don't know what this is essentially a piece of fabric that is brightly colored. You have orange and purple on each side. You use this for marking and signaling. So if I need to mark a DZ for an extraction, you can use a VS17 panel out in an open field. You can use it for building shift fire signals. If you're in a firefight, you can use this to signal your friendly element that's providing covering fire if you want to, and you just cut off strips, attach them to rocks, and throw them. They're called flaming rocks. And you can use this as a near recognition signal. If you don't know what that is, go to Ranger School. Just kidding. It's basically just saying, like, I push this out, show my my friendly element. If we agree on a color or we agree on a specific amount of times I flash this, then that lets them know that I am a friendly element, right? So I'm not getting shot by my own guys. So VS17 panel, super important piece of equipment, a super underrated piece of equipment, but in my kit because I believe it to be important. So that's all that. I also have an additional tourniquet on this side because I believe in carrying numerous tourniquets because I have 2 arms, I have 2 legs, and if 3 of them get blown off, at least I have 1 to apply tourniquets to the others, right? So we got a saying in the military, 1 is none, 2 is 1. In my case, 3 is 2, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So carry tourniquets, and more importantly, know how to use them and when to use them. So both sides, easily accessible tourniquets. We have, but underneath here, you're probably like, what is this tubular nylon doing here? Well, I carry tubular nylon on me. It is in a daisy chain configuration here. So essentially, there's a lot of capability that comes from carrying 1-inch tubular nylon on you. So they're daisy chained, so I can just pull it out. And now I have about 18 feet of tubular nylon. Tubular nylon, for me, if you've watched my direct action kit breakdown, I carry tubular nylon on the back of my plate carrier. There's just way too many good things that come with it. And as you can see, it sat right underneath. It was out of the way. It doesn't create any discomfort, but it does add a hell of a lot of capability. So with tubular nylon, you can create Swiss seats for it, for rappelling. You can rappel with it itself. You can use it for personnel recovery. You know, I have a medic buddy who's huge into rope rescue, and he swears by this stuff, and I trust that guy with my life. Personnel recovery, if somebody's on the bottom of a well or a ditch, you can pass this down, have it loop it through their kit or their belt, and get them out of there super easily. It is one of the strongest nylons out there. You can use it for an anchor, for basically rappelling. You can create an improvised litter out of this. It's just one person, at least one person, should be carrying tubular nylon within your section or your unit or your squad. There are a bunch of videos out there about how to use this stuff properly. Get educated, get trained on it, and carry 1-inch tubular nylon on you. I can't swear by it enough. It is too good. All right, so that is pretty much everything on my rig here. Let's go ahead and remove this. We'll talk about the back really quick, though. As you can see, not much to the back. I really don't care. I don't like wearing anything on my back. I don't like wearing anything on my belt, and we'll get to that in a second. Because in recon, you typically, especially conventional side, you are carrying a heavy fucking ruck almost at all times, right? At least till you get to your serve side or your hide side. There is so much shit that you're putting in your ruck because, like I said, you are carrying enough equipment to sustain you for numerous days at a time in an area reconnaissance, right? You have to carry a lot. When you're carrying a bunch of water, you're carrying all your food, you're carrying all your sustainment equipment, you're carrying observation equipment, you're carrying tripods, you're carrying trash bags, sandbags, e-tools, serve site, creation, saws, pliers, clippers, all this stuff in your ruck. You don't want anything on your back, I'm telling you. You want to be as comfortable as possible. So that's why I like a chest rig, especially for this type of recon. But as I said in the beginning, your mission's going to dictate what equipment you bring. So you might be wearing a plate carrier if it's necessary to do so, like a close target reconnaissance where you are face to face with the enemy. And if you get compromised, it is a near ambush, right now, time go. So nothing on my back, but I do like this. Let's talk about the fanny pack, aka the Nut Ruck. Now this one is a Spiritus Systems fanny pack. I really like this fanny pack. It is really roomy and it does exactly what I want it to do and need it to do, which is carry an additional tourniquet to give me 3 tourniquets on my person that are accessible all to my front, right? And it carries all my IFAC components. So the reason why I like a fanny pack versus like a belt mounted or a kit mounted IFAC is it's modular. I can move this son of a bitch. So basically if I'm laying down, obviously this is not going to be comfortable, especially for my dudes out there with big balls. This is not going to be comfortable at all. So if I want to lay down in the prone, so all I'm going to do is just push it to the side. Boom. Look at that. Now I'm completely flat in the front. I still have an IFAC attached to me. I still have all my life-saving equipment, and it's just pushed to the side. Inside the fanny pack, I have all my IFAC components. So I have gauze, I have Israeli bandage or pressure dressing, I have halo seals or occlusive dressings, I have my TCCC card, which has all my information pre-filled out. I have some needle Ds here for needle decompression to relieve tension pneumothorax for sucking chest wounds, and I have an NPA, right? So basically, everything that a normal IFAC has all fits effortless in this fanny pack, and that's why I like it so much. In the front here, I have something a little bit different, but something I strongly believe all recon personnel should carry on them, and it's like a small E&E kit or a survival kit, right? So essentially E&E stands for escape and evasion. If you are compromised and you can't get to your ruck, what are you going to do? right? You don't know how long you're going to be out there for. You're going to need some things to help you stay alive. So essentially in here, I have a thermal blanket, heating blanket to preserve body heat in case like I get separated from my snivel gear. I at least have something to retain heat. And then also the type of material that this is made out of can defeat thermal for a very short amount of time, but mainly for keeping me warm at night. Second, I have a saw here, right? This is just in case my fixed blade isn't big enough to chop down bigger wood. I have a little hand saw that I can use to cut through to help me build a fire or to do shelter construction with. So there's that. I have a lighter. You know, just because I know how to rub two sticks together to make a fire doesn't mean I want to do that, right? Because that burns a lot of time. And using a lighter will just make everything easier. Also, if the lighter runs out of gas fluid, you can still use the flash to help you ignite a spark. So carry a lighter on you. Like every survival expert that I've ever talked to or trained with just says literally carry a lighter with you. So this is a no-brainer. And then finally, in this kit, I have a Canna Provisions water decon kit. Now, I've seen these a lot on social media. Like I said before, carry a way to decontaminate water. It's mission critical. If you go black on water and you're located near a stream, I guarantee if you drink that water and something's in there, it's going to take you out. You're going to wish you were dead. I've had contaminated water before, and I literally had to go to the hospital, and it was one of the worst times that I've ever had it. I don't wish that on anyone, and I don't care how mentally tough you are, it will bring you down to your knees. So, Canna Provisions. Inside here, you have 10 purification tablets. Great. Probably iodine. You have 6 anti-diarrheal tablets, probably Imodium, which is essentially going to prevent you from shitting your pants, especially if you have contaminated water. And then when you're shitting your pants, you're shitting out all that fucking liquid, you will dehydrate and have a bad time. So this stops you from going to the bathroom, and it's better to keep that stuff in. You're still going to have a bad time, but it clogs you up. You have 4 compressed towelettes, individual packets in here. You have 4 rubber bands. You have 4 alcohol wipes, 4 waterproof bandages, 2 triple antibiotic ointment individual packets, and 2 safety pins. So it looks like you have a little bit more medical equipment here, a little boo-boo kit in here as well. So excellent tool to keep on you. It obviously fits right in the front of this fanny pack and doesn't take up a lot of room and barely any weight. So boom, right there. My uniform. Let's move on to the uniform. This is just a Crye Precision field top and combat bottoms. I'm a huge fan of the field top. I was issued one of these in regiment. I've continued to purchase these types of uniforms just because they're extremely well built. They're very rugged. There's a time and place for a combat top, which, breathes a little bit well. But even in hot weather, I still wear these field tops because if you're crawling around in the ground, you will get shit stuck to your stomach on those combat tops. I like this field top. It keeps everything out, and it also has these super cool, really cool guy inner pockets. So when you're chilling out, you can put your hands in them. But field top, for me, it's my preferred choice. Plus it just looks cool as hell. One thing that the Marine Corps has got us all beat on, and shout out to my Marines, is they authorize no undershirt. I wish the Army let me do that when I was there. But no undershirt seems to be the way to do it, right? Moving on, I have my belt. So my belt is actually an Arc'teryx Riggers belt. And this is a really cool belt. It does more than just keep my pants up. It actually acts as a rappelling harness as well. So it comes with these Nito leg straps, and I don't have them on me, but take my word for it, that wrap through, and you just attach a carabiner to your attachment point here, and now you have a rappelling harness. I've personally rappelled with this belt numerous times, and I've never had any concerns that it wouldn't be able to function properly. It is a great piece of kit. I was also issued one of these at Ranger Regiment, and I wish I stole it. I actually had to buy this myself. So, well, folks, that is everything that I wanted to go over for the reconnaissance first line kind of kit loadout breakdown. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope I provided some insight to kind of how I see recon going down, or at least what things you should bring with you to help support your recon task, right? If you guys like this video, make sure you let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. Get down in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts and other pieces of content that you want to see from me in the future. I will be a little bit more dedicated to producing content for you guys and sharing some information that I've acquired over the years. So that's on the way. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're not already on the notification train, hit the notification bell so you are alerted when new content from me comes out. Folks, stay safe out there. It is a crazy world. Stay prepared and train your ass off because your life could absolutely depend on it. We'll see you on the next one.